Hello all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to be your host today as I take you through a really jam-packed video. Today we have 9 brand new dies to share with you and they're all designed by Sue Wilson. So we know that they're really lovely designs, they're really great quality dies, they cut brilliantly. You're really in for a good little treat. But before we move on and have a look through our 9 new dies, we need to pick our winner. Now on last week's video we told you for every die or stamp you purchase we were going to give you a free raffle ticket, and one lucky winner is going to win £50 worth of Craftmania gift vouchers that can be spent either in store or on our website. So with no further ado, let's get our lovely camera lady to pick one lucky winner who'll get to spend them £50 worth of vouchers. So we have a blue ticket, it's number 569 and our winner is Catherine Dixon. So well done, Catherine. You have now got £50 worth of Craftmania vouchers to spend and we'll be in contact to tell you how you can spend them online or in store if you wish to. So we'll move on and we'll have a look through our 9 dies that we have to tease you with this week. Now, if you're new to our videos, every product that we're going to show you today will have a code. If you wish to order via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, over the phone to one of our stores or via text, if you can refer to this code, we'll know the item that you're on about. If you wish to order on our website, then don't worry, you don't need to know those codes. Everything is pictured individually and in its bundle offers. So you can just click on the items you wish to click and collect in store or order to have them posted to you anywhere in the world. So today's first product is die number 1. It's our butterfly frame. It should be £17.99, but because this is a Sunday showcase, we have it on offer for you. And the offer price this week is just £15.29. Now for your £15.29, you're actually going to get 6 dies. So you get an awful lot in this set. I've laid them out up here so you can have a little scan over them. So basically you're going to get the really delicate, beautiful butterfly frame itself, the actual really nice floral bit. You've then got a mat to go underneath it. This does actually, by the way, have a blade run around the outside and around the inside, so it will cut out like this as a free element from the first time you use it. But they've also given you a back panel and an insert, so if you wish to cut out mats to go under this, if you can imagine that, you could actually cut that out in a different colour to go under your actual floral panel as such to create different effects, or of course you can use them as solids or openings instead. So lots of options, really loads of options. One of the things I like most about Sue Wilson dies is they've thought of everything. They've given you so many options in the ways you can use them, so they really are quite lovely. And even if you don't want to use the really delicate bit, something like this is a really nice panel to do some stamping on or use on your inserts for your verses. So every little bit of it can be used in some way, shape or form. They've also give you a whole die filled full of little flower heads, and I quite like the way with these dies that they put this all together. Some companies give you lots of individual little tiny dies which are really easy to lose, but instead with the Sue Wilson ones they tend to do this, they join them all together so you can do it in one cut through your machine, and you've got all of the little flower heads you might wish to use to layer up on top of your die cuts, because they've got loads of little flower heads on there, so if you do want to layer them up and give it a bit more dimension you can do. Also in your set you're going to get 2 different butterflies, so you can see them possibly better on the packet because they're really delicate butterflies. So you've got sort of a mid-flight one and then more of a flat butterfly, which of course is really good for layering as well. So if you do wish to build that up into more of a picture you can. So that one is die number 1. It's your butterfly frame. It should be £17.99, but it is on offer for just £15.29. Moving on to die number 2, this is your rose frame. Now again, this is a really clever die. Lots of options with this one again. Your rose die should be £12.99, but with your discount this week, it's only £11.04. And in this set, you get 3 dies. So we have the rose frame itself, the really nice outside part. Now this does have a blade running around the outside of it, so it is going to cut the item out, but around the insert there isn't a blade. So if you wish to cut that as a solid mat, so you could stamp on this part in the middle or add a decoupage onto it, or whatever you wish to, you can do. Or if you wish to cut it out as a frame, they've also given you a matching oval which will fit inside it perfectly and cut that out. If you wish to leave this one solid, then of course you could cut ovals and layer them on top of it instead. And then we also have our rose element. So this rose element again doesn't have a blade around the outside of it. So if you do wish to cut that out in the middle here, this is the effect you're going to get. Let me bring that over for you to have a little look at. So you've got the outside cut which has done this bit. We haven't used the solid oval, we've just used the delicate rose part, so it's cut that out in the centre. So there's lots of ways we can use this. Obviously we could use that without that, as I said, and layer it, or we can use this with just the oval and cut that out instead, and that makes a really nice delicate part like that one. So as you can possibly see already, there's lots of ways we can mat and layer these together, or use the different dies to cut them out into different windows and bits like that if you prefer. So that is die number 2, your rose frame. Should be £12.99, is £11.04 with your discount this week. Moving on, we have another really intelligent and very, very lovely die. This is your delicate square frame. It's die number 3. It should be £16.99, but your offer price is only £14.44. Now for this set, you're going to get 4 dies. Now I really love this one, I've got to be honest. I love the outside die. I love the way it makes all these little markings around the edge of it. And then you've also got a plain square in the middle, which has got a really nice pinprick element around the side. Of course, like this, you could layer them up if you want to and cut frames out. So because it's got a blade going around the outside here, and of course a blade going around that element, you could either keep that just as one matting layering element and stamp on there, or you could pop that in the middle and cut it out as a frame maybe if you wish to. And then we have this element. Now this one's a really beautiful one. Again, you can cut this one out as a solid by using it as it is. It has a blade that runs around the outside of it here, so you're going to get a really nice intricate panel. Or if you wish to, this part does fit in the middle, so you can cut that one out as a frame as well. I've cut one as a solid just to give you an idea here, and I'll lay that down so you can actually see that in black. So that is literally just using this one die without the panel in the middle, so it does stay as a filled-in element, which again is a really nice part to put a sentiment on your card or possibly use as an insert. Lots and lots of options for that. And then we have this die as well. This also comes in this set, and it might not look too clear what you're actually going to be getting on the die itself, but there's a little cut out I've done to give you an idea of what it actually looks like. And of course you can use that between all the different layers and layer that up to make a really pretty centerpiece or topper to your dies if you want to, or of course we could just use it as a little freestanding element. So that one is die set number 3. It's your delicate square frame. It should be £16.99, but with your offer price it's only £14.44. Moving on to die number 4. Now this one is our ornate frame. Its recommended retail price is £18.99, but we have it on offer for you this week at only £16.14. Now this one I'm very impressed with. I love these really ornate designs, and this one's blown me away. These are the actual dies you're going to be getting in here. So you've got 4 in your set. So we start off with a really big outside panel. So if you wish to layer under these, you can do. You can cut your windows out using that. To be honest, it's possibly even big enough you could make small cards out of it if you wanted to. We then have an element to go in the middle of it. Again, you could cut that out as a frame if you wish to, or we can layer it with our delicate panel. Now this one doesn't have a blade around the outside or the inside, so if you wish to cut it out of your card front, you can do, and it will just give you this really lacy effect. I have done that, so you will get to see that on one of my cards later, so do bear with me and we'll get to them shortly. But if you wish to, you can marry them together and you can cut those parts out and you'll end up with a complete frame with a nice hole in the middle because we've added the blade in there. Or they've give you this really fancy panel, so if you wish to, you can just pop that in there and it will cut that out. Again, this one doesn't have a blade around the edge, so if you do wish to leave it in there to cut a really nice centre to your frame, you can. Or of course you can marry it up with the outside blade to cut it out as an actual freestanding element. If you was to leave this part in there like that, so without the outside blade, this is the effect you will get. That's how it will actually look, and I just think that's stunning. I really love this. If you think of all the different colours and seasons and themes we could put this one into, I think it's just really stunning. And again, there's so many ways we can use it. You could have it as a landscape or a portrait. You could do 2 or 3 and join them together to make a like ornate panel. Really loads of options with this one. So that's die number 4. That is your ornate frame. Should be £18.99, but it's just £16.14 on this week's offer. Moving on, we have our flower and foliage set, which is die number 5. It should be £8.99, but it's only £7.64 on your offer. Now, I know there's 1,000,001 flower dies out there on the market from all different brands and all different styles. And I know sometimes you may feel you've already got enough. This one is lovely. I'm really genuinely impressed with this one. Not only is it good because it gives you leaves with it as well, which a lot of the flowers don't, it just looks stunning, and it's one of those that you're going to use and be able to colour to fit into so many different things. These are two I've actually created, and I'm going to show you these. These are, I didn't do these till the very end of my day. I'll get to tell you more about my very nightmarish day today later on, but these are two that I was doing just to show you how you could play about with them after I'd actually finished my card samples. But this is just cut out of white cardstock. So just ordinary white cardstock for both of these, and I've cut them out, I've kept them in the die itself, and I've embossed them so that you've got this really nice texture to the top of them. I've left the actual card in my die. I'll try and marry this up for you. I've left it in the die, and I've inked through the top of it through these holes that they've got on the top here, and I've done it on this one using the purple ink. It's actually Seedless Preserves. And then when you take that off, you've got a nice white edge with a purple in the middle. Of course you could leave it like that if you wanted to, but I decided I'd go over it with some wild honey and try and tone it in a bit. This is the larger flower. That one's done with tumbled glass and Seedless Preserves. So you really could layer these up to create some really stunning floral effects. You could obviously do them all in the same colour, different colours, whatever you wish to. Or they look really lovely if you don't want to play about with them and just cut them out of a plain colour. But I'll get to show you lots more of those a little later on. But I think they're going to go very quickly. So if you are looking for new flowers, don't hang about, do get them while we've got them. I know last week we gave you a lot of warnings on stock on some of our dyes, and a lot of you were disappointed because you didn't quite get there quick enough. So please don't hang about. If you do like the look of these, as always, we do urge you to get in there while we've got them, and don't miss out. So that is die number 5, your flower and foliage set. It should be £8.99, it's only £7.64. Moving on to number 6. Now this is our ornate butterfly. So die number 6 should be £7.99, but it's only £6.79. Now these are really beautiful, and again it's a bit like the flowers. I know a lot of you may already have a lot of butterflies, but this is a really beautiful butterfly. I just think it's stunning how they've done all of this really intricate lace work, and I love the way it's got that little scalloped edge to all of the cuts as well. It really does look like lace, and I think it's beautiful. Of course, so many colours, ways we could layer them, different bits we could do with them. This is your actual die to give you an idea, but it's just lovely. I really like that. Even me, who's got a lot of butterflies, I think it's lovely, and one I'm going to add to my collection personally. So that's die number 6, ornate butterfly, £7.99, reduced to £6.79. Now the next 3 dies we're going to talk about are old border dies. Now they vary in price slightly, but basically the border dies are amazing. There is just so much we can do with these. I'm going to show you this one. It's not the design you're looking at to begin with, it's actually the next one along, but I want to show you this so that you've got an idea of what we're talking about. So you get 3 elements in each of the border dies. Now you may remember these from a few weeks ago. We actually had some other designs of these on a showcase, but if I haven't spoke to you about these before, I want you to know all about them because they're just ingenious. Basically we have an element here which is going to be your cut out fancy part. Now it doesn't have a blade around the edges, top or bottom, so it can just cut into your card and it will actually stay there, and you'll get to see that on my sample shortly. Or if you wish to, you can bring in the outside edges. So you can pop on the top one, for instance, and it will cut the top of your card, leaving the rest on the card like a normal edgeable die. Or you can leave the top one off and put the bottom one on and have that cut onto your card so that your panel will continue that way. Hopefully this makes some sort of sense. It does mean that we can do a lot with them. If you want to cut them out as a completely freestanding element as well, you can of course pop the blades both sides of it and cut that out, and this is what you will end up with. So that's actually the design we're looking at. That is it with the top and bottom die on it, and that's how you could actually use it as a freestanding element. Or this one here, this is another design. You haven't quite seen this one yet. This is the 3rd border design I'm going to show you. But I wanted to show you on the card to give you an idea. So we've got the fancy bit that's cut out in the middle. I've then put the blade on the top of it to cut it free from my card there, and I've put the blade on the bottom of it to cut it free from the card there. So as I say, so many options with these. I really like using them actually directly onto my card blank to give my sort of value cards a nice finish and a more elegant edge to them. And you're going to get to see that on several of the cards I'm going to show you that I've made today. So bear them in mind, but they really are lovely, and I promise you're going to be blown away when we get to see the samples. So the first one is die number 7. That's your floral border. That one should be £8.99, but is reduced to only £7.64. The next one is die number 8, which is your ornate border. This one, it should be £8.99, but again is reduced to just £7.64. And then lastly, we have die number 9. This is your scallop border, which should be £7.99 and is reduced to just £6.79. So they are your 9 very, very tempting, very, very lovely dies. As I say, you can of course purchase them all individually. We'll give you the code, so if you do want to order them via YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, text, or over the phone to the stores, you can do. But don't forget, they are all pictured individually on our website, so you can pop on there and either click and collect them from one of our stores, or we will post them literally to you anywhere in the world. We'll tell you more about our postage rates and bits towards the end of today's video, so don't forget, I'll come back to that later. If you wish to have all 9 dies, which who could blame you because they are really, really lovely, you could purchase our mega die bundle. Now that will give you all 9 dies in one pack. Now the recommended retail price for this is £109.91, but we've put them all together for you in one nice offer price of just £89.99. So I know it's a chunk of money, but what a lovely lot of dies you're going to get for that. And how many cards are you going to be able to make with these? And the themes you're going to be able to cross over from. I know that I haven't really done too many Christmas things with these this week, but quite a few of them could lend themselves to really lovely Christmas cards, wedding cards, birthday cards. There really is no end to these. It's one of the good bits about everyday dies. Depending on the colours and themes you want to add them into, there really is no end to the options, is there? So if you do like the look of this, you're possibly going to want some card and paper and bits to use with them. So this week we have an essentials pack for you, and it's a really lovely essentials pack. It's actually slightly cheaper than our normal essential packs, but don't let that fool you. There is lots and lots in this. If you're new to our videos, basically every week we bring together an essential pack full of goodies, which I've used the majority of the bits on here on my cards. So if you like the look of the cards I'm going to show you a little later on, this is a good place to start because it's going to give you the bits you're going to need to make your cards with. And because we put it all together in one pack for you, we would take at least a third off of the price as well. So for instance, today's bundle should be £16.49, but the offer price is just £11. Now for your £11, you're going to be getting quite a lot actually. You get 10 card blanks. Now these are A5 cards and they're really lovely actually because they've got like a waffle texture to them. I don't know how well you're going to see that on screen, but there is a really nice texture to the top of them. These are perfect to work with your border dies. So if you're going to get your border dies, I'm going to be able to show you lots of cards I've made with these cards and your border dies shortly. You've also got, of course, your 10 envelopes. We can't cheat you out of your envelopes. You're going to need them, especially when you've made these beautiful cards. We're also going to give you a sheet of 12 by 12 lilac swirl paper. And you're also going to get a double-sided paper. Now, this is one of my favourites. I love the little birds up in the tree here. And even the rest of it is really lovely. It can tone in so nicely. And then on the other side of it, we have all these lovely little butterflies. So even if you don't want to use some parts of this sheet, why not cut the butterflies out and layer them on your card to coordinate? So you're going to get one of those in there as well. We're also going to give you a metre of Hessian. Now, I've actually heat embossed my Hessian today, and I'm going to get to show you that on one of my cards shortly. But it's a really nice way that you could change the colour a bit and marry it up a bit for Christmas maybe, or do different bits with it. You're also going to get a metre of our red ribbon with our lovely white printed snowflakes on here. And I love this ribbon. It's a brand new one in today, and I'm really impressed with it. It's a really lovely ribbon. You're also going to get a metre of our yellow sheer ribbon that has a nice satin edge to it. We're also going to give you a metre of a white sheer ribbon and a metre of a silver sheer ribbon with a satin edge to it. And that's really lovely. Again, especially when we look at the paper we were just looking at, colour-wise that goes in really well to add in some light silvers and greys with that too. We're also going to give you 20 sheets of our thin white card. Now, I've used this an awful lot on today's cards. I've done quite a few white work cards for you today. And I love this card because it just cuts so well. You can ink it, you can stamp on it, you can spritz it, you can use texture paste on it. It's a really nice cardstock and quite a nice weight. It's possibly not thick enough that you're going to want to make your cards out of it or your boxes, but it's a really nice weight for die cutting because it's not too thick to cut through, but sturdy enough that it's going to give your die cut some real nice body. So you're going to get 20 sheets of that in your essentials pack. We're also going to give you a packet of chipboard self-adhesive embellishments. These are already die cut, so you can literally just pop them out and use them. And you actually get 2 sides to this, so you get an awful lot of these on your sheets. And some of them have got some really nice little text bits on them as well. So they're really lovely, and they're going to be in there too. We're also going to give you a sheet of our gems. Now these are a really nice pearl gems with like a little embossed part around the edge of them and a nice raised middle. I love using these for the middles of flowers, and especially with the flower die that we're showing you on today's showcase, you'll see on the majority of mine I've actually added these in the middle of them because I just think it sets them off really well. We're also going to give you a packet of these. These are our silver lines of pearls. So by that, they literally lift off in one line. So if you want to do borders around an oval or a square or an actual card blank, you can do. They're very bendable. So if you do want to shape them about, you can. We're also going to give you a packet of our flower meshes. So these are really beautiful. They're actually wired around the edge here. So if you want to shape them up a bit, you can do, but you're going to get a whole packet of them in here. And we're also going to give you one sheet of navy blue card as well, and you're going to get to see that on one of my cards shortly. So that's your essentials pack this week. It should be £16.49, but it's yours for just £11. Now, as always, I do like to remind you our essential packs go incredibly fast. So if you do want to get your hands on one of these, please don't miss out. They do go very quickly indeed. We're usually surprised if we've still got them left by the end of Monday, so don't hang about. Now that also applies to our ultimate bundle, because you do get an essential pack in here too. So once again, do be warned, this could go very fast. A lot of people are getting quite addicted to our ultimate bundles and ordering them week on week. So don't hang about, get it while we've got it. Your ultimate bundle this week has all 9 dies in it and the essentials pack. It should cost you £126.40, but we've actually taken a little cheeky £1 off of this as well, so it's saving you even more than if you was to buy the items individually in their bundles. So this time it's just $99.99, and that will buy you all 9 dies and your essentials pack. So that literally gives you everything we're going to be looking at today. So that's a really good bundle to get. And again, hours of fun going to be in that set, isn't there? You're going to be entertained forever. So much you could do with this lot. So with that in mind, let's have a look at my cards that I've made today. Now, confession time. Normally, I have my products a couple of days in advance. So I get to play about and pre-cut bits. So when I do actually get to make my cards, I'm halfway there already. Well, today, I've had a bit of an issue. My parcel didn't arrive till 12 o'clock Saturday afternoon, as in today, the day we film it. So I've only had about 7 hours to make all of the cards I'm going to show you today. So when I tell you they're a bit ropey and a bit rough around the edges, they genuinely are. It's a case of I wanted to show you how wonderful these dies are. So I've just thrown bits together at quite a hurry to try and get it something that I could show you. There was a moment in time when we didn't actually think our parcel was going to arrive. Apparently, and I didn't know this either, but you might have, FedEx and TNT have merged, and because of this they've had a major problem in their Thetford warehouse, and our delivery driver actually drove 150 miles to bring us our parcel today. So we're very grateful that we've got it, but slightly annoyed we didn't have it when we was meant to, because you would have had a lot more cards for me to show you today, and hopefully a lot better samples. But don't be fooled, these are really lovely products, and I think you're going to be able to create a lot better things than I have today, but it'll hopefully give you an idea of what you could do with them. So we'll start off with our first one. I've done a lot of white work today as well, because I find I can make white work cards a lot quicker than other cards. So hopefully, I know they're not always the best ones to show up on camera, but hopefully you're going to appreciate that it's showing you what you can do with these in a quick way. So on the actual card, I've got one of them really lovely cards that you're going to get in your essentials pack. That's one of these, and I've cut it about using my border dies. So this one is actually using the ornate one. I'm lying to you, I'm sorry. Oh no, it is the ornate border. It's die number 8 for your numbers. Die number 8, and I've used that on the edges here. Now the good bit with these dies is they can actually cut through 2 layers of cardstock at once. So you can literally take your card, fold it in half, pop your die on top of it and send it through your machine. And I'm using a manual machine, by the way. This isn't fancy because I've got an electronic one with lots of pressure. This is just a good old-fashioned manual machine, and I can cut through 2 layers in one go with these dies. So they really are very good quality dies, and it means that you don't have to worry about lining up the 2 panels. It will do it all for you in one go. So I've done it on both edges to give you an idea here of actually my card. So there's 2 sides to it, all both done. And then I've added one on the top here using more as an edgeable. So this is just a loose piece of card I've glued onto the back of the card to give me the same matching design hanging over the top of it. And then actually for the rest of my dies, we of course have the really lovely ornate butterfly, which is die number 6, which is reduced to just £6.79. And then around here you can see our really lovely delicate square frame, which is die number 3. So that's the backing panel that I didn't get to show you earlier, but that's it actually cut out. And then I've layered my own square on the top, and then I've used the frame as a solid for the bottom one because I've actually layered 2 of these. I've then used the square that does the pierced border to it and stuck that in the middle of it, and then I've cut out another one of the frames with the hole in the middle to actually pop my butterfly into. So it's all very simple, but quite lovely, and I really liked working with the delicate square frame. And at only £14.44, you do get a lot of dies in that set for your money, so it's a good one to get hold of. So that's my first card I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you the second one now. This one's our mermaid card. Now this one will actually be featured in an upcoming lesson. So somebody told me the other day, mermaids are in and unicorns are out. So with that in mind, it's time we made a mermaid card. So on this one, we have the butterfly frame around the edge here. Now this is something I'd never done before. I don't know where I've stolen this idea from. I must have borrowed it from somebody somewhere. But I've cut my cardstock out. I cut my die out of cardstock. This is just ordinary white cardstock. And then I've tapped over the top of it using an embossing pad. I actually use a Versamark one, but any pigmented ink pad. And then I've heat embossed it in gold. And I quite like that. It looks as if it's like a big metal charm or a metal plate instead. And I know you might be thinking, oh, well, you could do that by cutting it out of mirror board. But mirror board somehow still has that sort of very shiny mirror board effect to it that doesn't really trick me into thinking it looks like metal at all. You might disagree, but I quite like this. I thought that looked quite good. So that was that anyway. And I've used one of the solid panels from the die set underneath it, and I've just stressed around that in blue, or chipped sapphire I should say, just to tone in and give you a bit of a colour coming from underneath my die. I've stamped that lovely mermaid stamp in the middle. This is a relatively new stamp. If you haven't seen it before, you get your mermaid and you get a little seahorse and a little fish on there. And if you'd like this one, it's code mermaid. It's only £5.99, but I love that. I thought it was very so cute. So that's what I've done in the middle. I've heat embossed her in gold, and then I've just coloured her in with felt tips. In the background here, I've used a really nice mesh style embossing folder. If you haven't seen that before, it starts off as a folder this size, and I've just done 2 of them together to get my larger panel. Well, the code for that one is code mesh, and that is £5.99 if you would like that embossing folder. And then on the front here, we've got the flowers. Now, I love these flowers. These are done again in white cardstock. I've distressed over the top of them using fired brick. And then I've actually gone over the top of that to pick up the embossed part on the flower with aged mahogany. Now, your flower set is the flower and foliage die number 5, and it's just £7.64. In here as well, I've got the Hessian that you're going to get in your essentials pack. Now, again, I don't know how well you're going to see that, but because I didn't want to just use it as flat Hessian, and I've got the really nice gold going on my die and on my mermaid, I wanted to tie that in a bit. So I padded over the top of my Hessian using a Versamark ink pad again, and I've just heat embossed over the top of that. And I quite like that. I thought it'd be nice for Christmas as well. So if you wanted to do sort of a rusticy Christmas card style, that's something you could do on that one as well. Now, as I said, this card will be coming up in one of our lessons. It will start off in the Lower Stuff store in a matter of a couple of weeks, and then it will go on to our Yarmouth store roughly 6 weeks later. But if you'd like to know more about that, check out the events section on our Facebook page. It's not on there quite yet, but it will be coming up shortly, so do keep an eye on that section and you'll see it on there. Talking of lesson cards, this is another one that will be coming up in a lesson shortly. This is our very cute snowman. Now again, our snowman is from a stamp. If you wish to order it, it is code snowman. I'll show you it this side. I'm showing you the back, sorry. The snowman stamp is £5.99 once again. And I just thought they were quite cute too. I love this brand of stamping. They're just proper cutesy images. And I thought that was a really lovely stamp to work with. And really enjoyed colouring them in actually. And then for the actual showcase part of this card, on here I've used die number 3, your delicate square frame, which is £14.44. Now I've only used the little parts out of the middle of it, so I've got that very tiny element that I show you, and I've used the pinprick square behind that as well. So there's only a small part to this card from that, but then sometimes I think it's them little bits that we overlook and forget to actually show you much of. So it's quite nice to actually show you how you can take them little parts of a die and turn them into a more bigger focal point to your card if you wish to. Your ribbon and your gems are of course in your essentials pack. So if you like the look of my snowflake bow, you could be making your own using the Essentials Pack ribbon. Again, with that one, as I say, it will be coming up in a lesson. Check out the event section on Facebook, a bit like the mermaid one, and you'll see that one appear shortly. This one is a really quick card. Again, I just really didn't have a lot of time, but I wanted to show you how you could layer the rose frame one. So this is the rose frame, and I've done it once in white pearl and once in like a blue pearl, and just layered them together. Now you don't get to see the blue in all angles, but it sort of is a little hint that comes through there, and it sets off the blue that we've got on our nice chipboard element. The chipboard element, of course, is out of your Essentials Pack. You do get one of them in there. And then I've just added the pearls from the Essentials Pack around the side. Your rose frame, by the way, is reduced to just £11.04. So lovely die. Really nice size to work with as well, that one. And then sticking with that same die, again on this one, I've cut it out using white cardstock, and I've done that same bit that we did with the frame around the mermaid card. I've padded over it and heat embossed it in gold. It's a bit more lost on this one because of the gold and black background sort of takes away a little bit from it, but this is a really quick card. It was more just to show you how you could thread ribbon through the edges of this one if you wanted to, and turn it more into a hanging element. Of course, you could bring your ribbon down and go that way as well. There is a hole at the top and the bottom of this one that direction too if you wanted to, so you could have it as a landscape or a portrait. I actually thought it might be quite nice for wedding invitations or party invitations, something like that maybe. And then of course we've got our flower die around here as well, which of course is die number 5, and that's your flower and foliage set, which is reduced to just £7.64. And then the butterflies on here, I've used these quite a lot separate from the actual die. This is out of set number 1, your butterfly frame, and I just thought they were quite cute and the perfect size to add on to many cards, so you'll get to see them appear every now and again. On to our next card. Now this time I've once again started off with one of our really boring card blanks, just one of our white waffle ones, and I've jazzed it up using our border dies. So this time I've used die number 9, the scallop border, which should be £7.99 but is reduced to just £6.79. Now one of my favourite bits of that is the way it puts that hole in underneath the scalloped element. So if you do want to thread ribbon through it or use it to tie a bow through them, you can do, or of course you can just leave them plain. You don't have to put ribbon through them, but I do quite like ribbon. I try to use ribbon on most cards that I create. I just think it gives a more professional finish somehow, so I am a bit of a ribbon addict. So that's how I've threaded it through the holes on the side there, and then I've just made a little board at the top here to add another bit of ribbon and a bow to, and again of course this ribbon is going to be in your Essentials Pack as well. And then actually for my focal point I've used the paper from your Essentials Pack, and I've used the butterfly frame, which is die number 1, £15.29, and this time I have cut out the little matching flowers and layered them on top and just added some iridescent glitter into the middle of those. But it's such a delicate die, isn't it? It's a really, really pretty one. And of course, as I said to you earlier on, one of the bits I really like is you can use it as a landscape or a portrait. There's nothing wrong with using it in both directions, and that's good because we like a versatile die, don't we? It means that you're getting more value for money, and that's one of the bits I really like with the Sue Wilson dies, is you do get really good value for money. Not only do you get all of them different elements that we can use to create frames and borders and bits like that, most of them can be used as portraits and landscapes as well, which gives us more options and better value for our money. On to our next one. Now this time I have used the ornate frame, which is number 4. Now as I said to you when we had a little look at this, it does cut out just in your cardstock if you don't use the inside or the outside die. Now I'm hoping you're getting to see just how lacy and delicate that is, but I do have a bit of black card here to hand. It may even look better with a black card behind it, which you could certainly do, is put a piece of card under it if you wanted to, but I just want you to see how incredibly delicate that is and how it takes just an ordinary card blank and really does give it a really professional and elegant effect without actually a lot of work. You've just got to cut one die through your machine to create that effect really easily. And then in the middle of it, I've used one of the elements from in the middle, that solid one, to stamp my sentiment on. And then I've used the flowers again. This time I've crimpled them a bit different, using my tweezers to actually put crinkles into the edges of the petals instead of rounding them or distressing them or anything. So it's just a more of a crinkle effect. But it is the same flower, and that of course is die number 5, your flower and foliage set, reduced to just £7.64. And then on the top here, I've actually used one of our edgeables again, and this is using die number 7, your floral border, which again is reduced to just £7.69. 64p, sorry. And it can, of course, cut through both levels, so that's what I've done again on this one. If you wanted to, you could, of course, do one on the bottom of it as well, because it will stand on that if you want it to. But I quite like just showing you that you could use them on one side if you wanted, instead of having to use them on both. So again, it's quite a simple card, but I really wanted to show you how that really beautiful ornate frame could be used to create that effect. Moving on to our next card, again we're sticking with a bit of white work, and there's lots on this one, so I'm just going to pick this one up so we can have a little look at it. In the background here, I'm going to show you this bit first of all. I love embossing folders, and we don't often get to talk about embossing folders. I'm hoping you can see the texture on this one, but it's a really ornate embossing folder. This is the actual size of it. As you can see, you've got these really nice ornate patterns on it. So your code for this one is ornate emboss, and it's $5.99 if you wish to order it via any of the ways I spoke about earlier, or of course it is available on the website as well. So that's the backing panel. I've got the ribbon and the gems on here, of course, from your essentials pack, but more importantly is all the good bits at the front. So on there we have got our butterfly frame, which is number 1. Oh yes, for our butterflies. I'd struggled there, I'd forgot what I'd use. But yes, that's our butterflies from our number 1 die, £15.29p. We then have number 4, our ornate frame, which is £16.14p. And this time you're seeing that I've used the backing element, the solid frame element, the middle part, and then the middle delicate part to really layer that up and look more like a medallion style die cut. And then of course we have the flower and foliage set used down here as well, which is $7.64, die number 5. And then hidden away underneath here, you might not be able to see that too well, is actually our scallop border number 9. I just wanted to give the actual front of my card, front of my stepper, a little bit of detail. So you can see it on there. I've just cut that into the cardstock to give it a little bit more hidden detail as such. And of course that is just £6.79p. Moving on to our next card. Now this one is using one of my domed cards. If you haven't seen how to do domed cards before, we do have a video actually showing you how to make domed cards, and I will pop that in the description. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you do pop along and read our description on Facebook or YouTube, you'll actually see the link to show you how to make a dome fronted card. They're ever so simple, and we try to keep the demonstration really quick and simple for you to follow, but it will hopefully enable you to make as many dome cards as you want to out of aperture cards really quickly and easily. On this one, I've taken an ordinary 8x8 square aperture card, which of course normally has a very boring plain frame to it, and I've used my border dies, which this time is die number 9, the scallop border, to actually cut into the card and make this really pretty frame. I haven't used the outside edges, so I've literally just used the fancy part of the die. So don't forget, when we look at these, you've got the 3 elements. All I've used is the middle bit. I haven't used either of the edges to cut it. It's literally just cut into the card itself, which means all of these lovely holes it is going to create are perfect to thread our ribbon through. So I've literally started off in one corner, worked my way all the way around, and then tied it off into a bow on the actual edge of it. I've added on the top here of my corners and on the top of my bow the flower mesh embellishments that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack, and I just think they're so pretty, so they're a nice little finish. And then in the background here we've got the swirl paper that of course is in your essentials pack as well, and that also runs through to the insert as well. Moving on to our next card. Now this is the one that you got a little sneaky peek of when we started off on today's video. This one again is using one of our edgeable dies. I'm just going to lift this up so we can have a little bit more of a chat about it. So on this one we are using die number 8, your ornate border. Now again, it's just using that middle part. Again, we're on an 8x8 square aperture card. So I've just cut that out, and then I've actually cut myself a frame, and you could even use the die out of the middle of the delicate square frame for this. It's the right size if you wish to use that to cut the window, but I actually cut mine with a knife and a ruler, but it's up to you. You could use your die. And then I've layered the blue card underneath that, so that's all you're going to see through the holes, with a bit of an edge to it. And then I've added my pearls around the side of that one, and then in the middle here on our little hanger, I love doing these. This is just an ordinary aperture card, by the way, but instead of sealing it, let's chat to you about that for a moment. Instead of sealing the card like you would an ordinary aperture, all I've done is left it open and then hung my element in the middle on a couple of bits of ribbon so that it will appear in the window. And then I've created a little step at the back. I haven't really dressed the back up too much because of time, but I've just created a little step at the back by folding my card card over and taping it in place so that the card will actually stand and won't fall back on itself. So they're ever so easy to do, but it's more the front I want you to look at really, because that's the bit I've bothered to dress up. But on here again we have got the delicate square frame number 3, which is used in the middle here as well to create that really lovely panel in there, which is reduced to $14.44. And then we have our ornate butterfly in the middle, this time cut out of the blue cardstock, and that one again is reduced to just £6.79 and is die number 6. And then our flowers this time, this of course is number 5, still sticking with the same flowers, which is number 5, flower and foliage, £7.64. But this time I've cut them out of the white cardstock you're getting in the Essentials pack, but I've used my chipped sapphire distress ink and just gone around the edges of them to tie in the blue element of it. And I really like all these little foliagey bits that you get in that set. I haven't used them on all of the cards, but I think they're really pretty, and especially if you do want to distress ink them. I'd really like to see these flowers done in the purples and the pinks and that from the distress ink colourway as well. So there's a lot you could do with them as well. If you don't like the blues, there is a lot of shades you could be doing them in. So that's that card. Moving on to our very last card today, and I'm a little bit shorter today. As I said, I really didn't have much time, so hopefully I've give you a little glimpse into what you could be doing with these. But this is our last one, and I've tried to cram as many bits onto this one as I physically can to show you different elements used together. So on this one we have our butterfly frame, which is number 1. And that is used for our little butterflies that are hanging around here and dotted about on our card. On our second die, die number 2, rose frame, £11.04. That's actually used on the top here, and I've cut 3 of them. I've got a solid one, and then one with an opening in the middle, and then just another one added to the top here over the very tip top of it. So you've actually got 3 different levels using all the different options that you do get with that die, because you've got so many elements in it. And I've layered that on top of die number 4, your ornate frame, which is reduced to just £16.14. And I really like the way that our rose frame fitted in the middle of the ornate frame to give you even more depth and drama to your actual topper element if you wish to. And then over here we have our flower die again, which is flower die number 5, but this time I've put it into a dots embossing folder. So if you'd like the dots embossing folder, I've used this on a couple of bits. I've used it on the background here, and I've used it on the flower. You can order that one as well. It's just code dots emboss, and that one's $5.99 as well. And of course it is pictured on the website as well if you wish to check it out on there. But I hadn't done that before. I've seen it done quite a few times where people have die cut their flowers and then put them in embossing folders, but I'd personally never attempted it. But I quite like the way that come out. I just felt it gave it a bit more detail and a bit more dimension without actually having to do anything to them too much anyway. And then in the background here we have our really nice big ornate butterfly, again cut in white. The ornate butterfly, of course, is only £6.79. And then on the top of my little stepper bits here, I've added in one of my edgeable dies, or border dies I should say, and that's number 7, the floral border, which is reduced to just £7.64. And that concludes all of my cards today. So I hope you've liked having a little look through these. I hope I've given you a few ideas. If you have any questions at all about any of the cards or any of the dies or anything at all regarding us, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. My personal Facebook page is actually linked in the description. So if you wish to friend request me, you can talk to me directly anytime, day or night. Or of course you can come to us via our website. You can call the store anytime you wish to, or you can of course go through our Facebook page for Craftmania as well. Or of course you can pop in the comments on YouTube, and I'll certainly do my best to answer any of the questions you have regarding anything I've shown you today. If I can help, I will. So before I let you go, let's take a quick run through all of the different options you've got for your products this week. And just in case you've forgot any of your numbers or your prices, and if you do want to jot them down, now's the time to do it. So our first one is die number 1, butterfly frame, should be £17.99, but it's just £15.29. Die number 2 is your rose frame, should be £12.99, but it's £11.04. Die number 3 is your delicate square frame, should be £16.99, but is reduced to just £14.44. Die number 4 is your ornate frame, should be £18.99, but is just £16.14. And die number 5 is the flower and foliage set, should be £8.99, but is reduced to just £7.64. Die number 6 is your ornate butterfly, should be £7.99, but is reduced to £6.79. Die number 7 is your floral border, should be £8.99 but is reduced to £7.64p. Die number 8 is your ornate border, which should be £8.99 but is reduced to £7.64p. And die number 9, it should be £7.99 but is reduced to just £6.79p, and that is your scallop border. If you'd like to buy all of these, again, I can't blame you. Hopefully after seeing some of my samples today, I've encouraged you to splurge out on these because it's such a lovely collection. This, of course, will give you all 9 dies. It should cost you £109.91p to buy them individually at recommended retail price, but they're yours for just £89.99p. Now, hopefully, as well, I've shown you all of the different elements you're going to be able to use from your essentials pack. So if you'd like to get one of our essentials packs while we've got them, these should be £16.49p, but they'll be just £11. And then, of course, our ultimate bundle. Our ultimate bundle gives you the essentials pack and all 9 of the dies. Should be £126.40p, but the offer price on that for this week is just $99.99. And of course, you're just going to have so much fun with that set. There is just so much you're going to be able to do with them, isn't there? Now, all of our offers do end at 5 p.m. on Saturday, the 25th of August 2018. So if you do want these, get them while we've got them. As I say, the offer will end next Saturday, so don't hang about if you want to get hold of them. And of course, cash in and save big on them. Now, as I said to you earlier, we do, of course, post these worldwide. So if you'd like to know how our worldwide international shipping works, you can check out the frequently asked question page on our website. If you would like to have the items held for you to collect in store, then as I said to you earlier, you can order them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, via text message, or of course you can give us a call at one of our stores and we can arrange holding them for you that way as well. If you're going to order these and have them posted to you within the UK, then that's not a problem either as well. If you spend over £35, then your order will be completely free of P&P. If you do spend under £35, then we just have a flat rate of £2.75 for all orders under £35. It's not too bad, is it? And it's a good way to get them. And the money you're going to save on all of these goodies, certainly worth doing. And of course, if you go for the bundles, you're going to get them P&P free. So you're going to get them sent to you for absolutely free within the UK. Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, whether that's on YouTube or Facebook. If you would share our video, we'd certainly appreciate it as well. The more people that watch our videos, the more offers, the bigger and better offers that we can bring you as well. So please don't forget to do that too. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're a YouTube member, then we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. If you haven't already, we've recently hit 1,000 subscribers and we're absolutely delighted by that. And we're certainly trying to aim for much higher. So please, if you haven't as yet, do hit subscribe and join our gang. If you've enjoyed today's video, I sincerely do hope you have. We would love to hear what your favourite elements were and what dies and cards you enjoyed looking through. You can always drop us a comment on Facebook or YouTube, and we'd love to respond to them too. So thank you very much for watching today. I look forward to seeing you all next week when we have another new Sunday showcase for you. And once again, congratulations to Catherine Dixon for winning the £50 worth of Craftmania vouchers. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.